So I came across Thatcher aircraft a few months ago. Saw a CX4 for sale online out of Tallahassee with an Air Force type of paint scheme to it, and it really grabbed my interest. The problem with the CX4 for me was that it's a single seat, single place airplane where I need something with at least 2 seats so that my wife can fly around with me, especially if I'm going to try to sell this idea of building an airplane. So I started doing some research into it and found out that there was also a Thatcher CX5 and a Thatcher CX7. The CX5 is the tandem seat. The CX7 is side by side. Being that all of my experience has been in tandem, light tandem airplanes like the J3 Cub and Aeronca Champ, I preferred the CX5 because of the tandem seating. One issue that I had was that only the CX4 had a tailwheel set of plans. The CX5 and CX7 were only designed as nose wheels. Well, I contacted Glenn Bradley and asked him about possible tailwheel conversion for the CX5, and he was able to tell me that yes, it's been done, and in fact he even has plans showing what needs to be done to do the conversion. So I was almost sold at that point. Another nice thing, at least for me, is that Dave Thatcher lives in Pensacola. He did all this over there, and Glenn Bradley's over in Pensacola, and I'm only 2 hours away from there. So one day my wife and I took a ride over there, and we spent a couple of hours with Glenn Bradley looking at the CX4, CX5, and CX7s that they have over there in their hangars. I was able to get into a CX5 and see how it feels, and wasn't able to fly it because it was going through an annual, but I did get to at least see it and have hands on it, and at that point I was 99% sold. My big question was my ability to be able to handle a project like this, which Glenn said that the way Dave designed this is that anyone can do it. You don't need to have a machine shop. You don't need to have any real significant experience building stuff. I've done home renovations in the past, and he said if you could do that, you can build a Thatcher aircraft. So I went home, did a little bit more research, found some information online, some other websites that kind of showed the process, and I was sold. I contacted Glenn and said, check's in the mail. I'm purchasing a set of plans for the CX5. After a little bit of back and forth with USPS, because for some reason they wanted to send the plans from Pensacola over to Jacksonville and then back to Pensacola before they came out to me. The plans arrived in the mail yesterday. So the plans came in this tube, 2 rolls inside the tube, the longer roll being the actual plans and the shorter roll being the instructions that go with it. So quite well organized. We start off with some general information, reference building Thatcher aircraft. I'll have to leave these out for a couple of days to get the roll out of them, since they spent a week with USPS traveling around North Florida. But we've got general information, Thatcher CX5 materials list, and that goes on and on and on for a few pages. Then a list of the tools needed, which is where I'll be starting with this series. Weight and balance. Operating limitations. And then we get to the construction manual for the Thatcher CX5 sport aircraft. And this is where it comes down to all the photos of the work involved, rear spar installation, nose gear installation, and on and on and on. I haven't sat down. This is really the first time I'm looking through these plans, but it looks like it's quite thorough and involved, which is good because I've never done anything like this before. So I need to have basically someone holding my hand along the process. And then the actual plans. The Thatcher CX5, designed by David J. Thatcher Sr. Like I said, this is the CX5 is a nose wheel, but I do have plans for a tailwheel version of this, and that's actually what I'm planning on building, is a tailwheel version. According to Glenn, these are fairly easy to do. This is the actual form. You basically cut wood forms out based on these drawings. You place these over the wood, and you tap little holes along the side and then connect the dots and cut out your forms. And then you get your metal and cut it to the size of the form, do the bends, and keep going one by one. When you get to things like the ribs and the spars, the wings, basically it's a lot of repetitive work. The first couple are going to take a little bit of work until you get the hang of it, and then the other, dozen or so are going to go pretty fast because you've already done a few. And you just follow the plans as you go. Everything I've read, it seems to be like that it shouldn't be too complicated of a process. We're gonna see. Anyway, this is the beginning of the journey. I will be starting off by gathering all the tools. I've already gathered some tools I know that I'll need based on the forums I've been on online. Thatcher has a Yahoo group that where there's a lot of discussion from the various builders all over the world. So I've already gathered a few tools. I'm going to go ahead and go through the tools needed list, gather some more tools. I'm going to build my workbench because I need from talking to Glenn, that I need a 16-foot long workbench with a angle iron edge to do some of the work on this, and I will document that as I go along and create more videos step by step, and let the journey begin.